CDD meeting?
Yeah, I know.
At least?
Before I got into it there, I said, are these?
Okay.
Everybody left. Go save that person next.
Everybody but Lisa. Thank you for staying, Lisa. Okay, not a problem.
View number 33.
You can move up to the front if you'd like.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay, so the financials. This is as of December 31st. I just have one question.
Yeah, I just note page 1, the total assets, which is basically the bank account for nearly all of these, with the exception of the capital projects, we've been spending. They all look very healthy, up over $200,000 each on all of them year on year.
Okay.
Page 2, am I right in thinking 93% of people have paid their taxes already?
That's correct.
Yes.
Through December 31st, yes.
That's incredible.
Well, they take advantage of the 4% discount.
Yeah. Is it typically that high this time of year? I mean,
It is.
Yeah, that's really good.
December, yes, yeah.
Why were the trustee fees? I mean, it's $1,200, but we budgeted 3, they're 42.
Which page you on?
We're on page 2, the trustee series 14.
14.
They were 4,200.
We likely did not add the trustee fees for the additional funds that we added
Okay.
related to the community center and project, so we'll have to keep that in mind as we do our budgeting for this upcoming year. I think that one got biased.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big chunk of money, it was just something that stuck out.
It was I had that one as well.
Page 3, revenue is 19% of budget. What's going on there?
Well, you get the Duffy's percent of sales, which we haven't received any portion of yet.
Okay.
And I think if you took a quarter of the year of that, it probably brings you right in line.
Okay.
Well, what's Duffy's?
60 grand or something?
Yeah, it's like 66,
Yeah.
6.
You should get that probably February.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right there it is, 66,000. There you go.
Okay. The fund balance.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
The 2022, the fund balance. Isn't this the,
Which one are you looking at?
on page 4?
Page 4.
4 and 5. 87% as opposed to 93%?
Yeah.
Why is there a difference?
Yeah, that is unexplainable. It's same on both of those.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you know what it is? Is the property outside the gate is not included in this because they would not benefit from these
Oh,
improvements.
okay, that's right.
So that's your difference, is they did not get charged for these.
Right, okay. Very good. Okay, and I still have that. The 2022 there's still $7,800, that's the property.
Yep,
We leaving that there, does that get moved? or-
leave it for right now.
Okay, very good, that's fine.
We still got the teardrop we want to deal with.
Right,
Yep.
okay. The irrigation fund is doing fine?
Any issues on billing with that? Does that seem to be all right, the irrigation billing?
We haven't had any comments, have we,
No,
Chris?
I think everything's just
I tell you,
rolling along.
If you look at those,
Changed up the program in the
there's
field,
some
it's been
high
just-
numbers.
Yeah,
So, but no, I haven't had any.
I had to lock 2 people out last week, but as far as like zero consumption report, it's not anything of concern, the size of it or anything like that, especially this time of year.
right.
But once it gets to a certain point, like I said, we usually take it from like the $2.50 number at the bill, and then we go look at them, see if anything's not running or.
Okay.
Well, there's some big numbers on that consumption report. So I don't know. I haven't seen any emails.
The big
yet,
numbers,
but
we don't work
I'm
right.
anticipating it.
Yeah, it's the low numbers that we go after, the
Right,
ones
right,
that's
right.
not running.
Just on the flip side.
Right.
There's some big numbers I looked at.
Due to general fund, 71. That's payroll, I guess, all that. Irrigation, we're doing okay.
Irrigation and doubtful accounts, it's the same amount every month. Why don't we just wipe it?
I talked to Jeff Pender about that, and that's just kind of a bucket that they've always left it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tight. You've got a couple of liens that have been filed out there in pretty sizable amounts, but they just continue to sit there until they sell. When they
Right.
sell, they'll have to clean it up.
Yeah, so that's when that
I'd
will...
leave it, yeah.
Yeah, and I spoke with Jeff, a year and a half ago, and he said just to leave it for that same reason. And yeah, it looks like we should, but since they're doubtful, and not knowing, I mean, there was a point in time when you guys had a really high balance there.
Is that not doubtful? Does it, just drop into accounts receivables?
I don't know if I necessarily call it doubtful. If you got a lien filed, you'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
But it could
Right,
be 10 years, could be 2
Delayed.
months. It's, yeah, delayed.
Delayed,
But you gotta use the proper accounting term, so believing that doubtful is probably one that's proved,
yes. Okay,
kind of particular.
okay.
On page 12, just so the rest of the board members know, I did run some numbers on the sales, and we were within like 0.1%. So it seems to be tying together. I'm going to look at that more maybe later in the year, but felt pretty good.
Okay.
Page 15, Chuck, cost of goods, or 1415. Where do our credit card fees show up?
They're over in,
It's bank fees, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes.
it's over here in,
Give me a page number, Jeff.
hold on one second. I think it's 16.
16, okay.
Got a credit card expenses, bank
And
charge.
charges.
Okay.
Okay. Have we gone to strictly credit card with the concessions?
Yes.
Okay. Any issues? Nothing more than normal?
Little grouse in there and there, but I don't know.
Okay. I had nothing else with the financials, we okay?
No. Motion to approve the financials?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and our last payment for the bunkers is in a couple weeks. And then we're done with that, so Synovius should be,
Go ahead and we'll incur some more debt.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a money pit.
Madam Chairman, really quickly, if, and I don't want to extend the meeting any longer than we have to, I think we still need to consider if the season goes well and we do make what we looked at the end of the year profit for the club, we should still try to make that additional payment to move forward with the renovation.
Oh, I agree.
So just keep that on our radar.
That's something that, well, that's why I'm looking at the cash we've had over the last 7 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And that we're still doing, because I've done it with year over year.
We're within 800,000 of paying it off, and we have 200,000 withheld back, so
Right.
we're actually within 600,000. If we can get closer,
Oh, it would be, yes, oh, absolutely. So that's why I'm kind of trying to monitor that every week when she sends it. And I haven't gotten it out to you guys, but I will.
no problem.
Okay, let's go to the minutes. I didn't have anything on page 1 or 2. Guys, jump in if you have anything.
I don't, 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, John, the handbook, did Leslie email that to?
She should, yeah, if she did, we emailed it to CDD.
I did not get it.
I believe we emailed it to the C, or
Yeah.
Chuck.
I think we got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we installed, we added those two changes, and yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look. I might,
You saw it too, right? The book, yeah. The revised email.
I'll have Leslie resend it.
have her
But it's
resend
done,
it.
yeah.
Okay, I would appreciate it because I may have just missed it somewhere.
And you want it sent to you and Chuck as well? Just resend it to Chuck and send it to you?
Yes, please. I had nothing on 4 or 5.
Hey, well, Chuck, can I have a real quick question? When I go to send out an email to the board, or I can't send it to the whole entire board, correct? I can only send it to a minority of
A
it?
proper disclosure, not, if they want to reply, not to include another board member in the reply. And then if you would just CC me, that way it goes into our server and gets stored as a public record.
Gotcha.
Then you don't have to worry about it.
I did have on 126, I don't think that's worded properly. Mr. Nixon asked why Duffy's does not have a liquor license.
Cocktails on the golf
I
course.
think he's asking why we do not. I mean,
Why Duffy's
Duffy's-
liquor's license does not cover, or cannot be used.
something just didn't look right with that.
Mr. Nixon asked why Duffy's does not have a liquor, why Duffy's liquor license cannot be used on the golf course.
Yeah.
Just didn't look right, or doesn't look right.
Fix that.
I'll cover that off, man. It's on my list here in a minute.
Yeah.
I think if they were able to run the pro shop part, the snack shack, they would be able to use it. It would.
Yes.
But they don't want to do that.
Well,
We're still working.
We'll cover that off in a second.
Okay.
has-
Adam's got something, some
About to say.
updates. Okay. Anything else on page 5? 6?
On page 6, maybe I said this, but it doesn't make any sense. Line 173 to 175, that whole sentence.
You read the response?
Appears that Mr. Chopper is more informed than the village regarding what was going on. And he emailed copies of the October 2023 DO plans to Mr. Pierce, who in turn transmitted them to the district engineer. I may just want to say that Mr. Chaffee emailed,
Yeah,
Okay,
and strike the first part.
got it.
yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Mr. Chaffee does think he is smart enough.
Yeah, he does. Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Line 102. Fryer is spelled F-E-R-R-A-R.
F-R-E-R-R-A-R.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like Friar Tuck. What she wrote. Robin Hood, what's her name?
On 249, I don't believe I brought any of that up.
No, that was Mr. Dalton. You were talking about the phone system.
Yes.
Yes. Do we have the no overnight parking signs?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
from,
it's installed, and then I can leave some of these with you guys to put on, or I will get up here and put them on a car, they're giving them 24 hours notice they'll be towed.
there are 2 vehicles that
Okay.
we've denoted that are consistent with it.
All right.
And I told Dan, my outside supervisor, the other day that I would talk to you and we would move forward with getting
Okay.
them removed.
Is one a roofing
I can put those on
truck?
there and make a note of what
And then
the
another
car
one, like a
is,
white van?
to the tow
Yeah,
company.
okay. I've noticed the same ones.
Okay.
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 Do you have any covers?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Do we, before we tow them, do we put any kind of warning, or?
That's what that
is?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what that was right there.
That's their warning.
Did you get any callback yet on that manhole cover that's offset? About right there when you come in? Lisa?
I'm sorry.
Did you get any callback on that manhole cover that's offset? Remember right when you come in?
Yes, we were just talking about that. I did, it was, I sent a proposal to repair it correctly for like $3,500. But there was also another issue in the parking lot where it's kind of wrinkled. Right in front of Duffy's in the parking lot, looks like there's some tree roots. Maybe, I thought the storm drain was leaking or cracked or something, because it looks like it's sinking in a way. But I've had a couple people out there, and they don't believe that the storm drain is the issue, that it could be tree roots. Collier Paving looked at it too, so we were going to see what's going on with the paving job in here, if you mention it, that they need to go back to our parking lot anyway to do the little skirt thing, so they should probably maybe fix that. Collier Paving's aware too, but they don't repair manhole covers, they don't do that. So my bid with Vanessa, but they looked at the area that was kind of wrinkled, and they may need to just cut it out and redo it, or see if there are roots in there, or whatever. But I also recommend that we jet the storm drain. That storm drain goes right there at that location, and then heads out to your,
Number 10.
guard gate. So maybe we need to get those jetted and cleaned up.
Okay.
And then we could camera and really find out if there's an issue with it.
Yeah, I would,
I would think we should do that, so we
Yeah.
don't
That's
undermine the
like,
whole parking lot.
Maybe $2,000,
let's do it.
Okay,
but that should all be passed through as camp.
yes.
Maintenance.
The other thing that real quick, that landscaping on our end of it, like the pro shop end, I mean, it's all new, looks really good. The Duffy's end of it, they need to match, I mean, honestly.
Who's doing the landscaping there? John? Okay. Now, if you go with the state eventually, would that be included? Or
No.
would you still do that?
You'd have to have a separate contract for it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should have continuity. Yeah.
So I will say this, underneath the breezeway, there's not much you can do as far as, because it's so shady, it's so deep recessed. We've already replaced that with what's currently there with shade tolerant plants. So I don't know, now as far as on the outside wall and then out in front,
Yeah.
that can all be redone.
Maybe
blow
we
it
can
up.
put, maybe we can put flowers in there since you
Yeah.
replant them every month seemingly.
We used to, yeah, we used to put flowers in there. Yeah.
John, could you just, I don't have to rush up there today, just give me a price of what you think to redo, because you did the other side.
your side.
So from basically the left side of the door, not under the breezeway, but
The left side of the door.
to where everybody comes in the back behind Duffy's, so it'd be like the access for the trucks and delivery drivers, and then the front of the breezeway.
Yep.
Yeah. Just,
Irrigation's working okay up there?
okay, if you
Not
could
for
just,
nothing, while
I mean,
you,
that's all cam too.
while we're talking about it, the pavers from the pull-up, from the portico, from the under, I mean, they could stand to be redone, they're 20 years old. I mean, if you're gonna do a complete facelift, and we've done a lot of that, let's finish, is my opinion.
okay. John, could you look into that?
Pavers?
I don't need to put more in play,
Yeah.
sorry.
Clean them, but, yeah.
Yeah, you clean them, but, just like,
But again, in doing that, we would have to do it with Duffy's and their business, it might be a tough,
like, going in the front of Duffy's, the portico.
I don't know, their door is disgusting. They need some more.
yeah. I'll make him do it. Okay. Go ahead.
So, did you want to talk about or are we done with financials?
Done with financials, done with
Did you want to talk about Duffy's that we had met and Chris?
Oh, well, yeah, well, we'll get to that in just a second. Okay. Tony, you did that Johnson Engineering's not here. The irrigation report, as Chris was saying, some of these are high. Actually, the delinquents right now are 4,700, which is not too bad. Just one additional person. And there are quite a few that are high.
Yeah, there's some big.
Big numbers there.
Well, that's the villas, and, I mean, one of these is $150.
Yeah. 175.
Yeah, so the reason I brought it up, John, is either potentially there's gonna be some rereads. Because if any of these people contact me, the first thing I'm gonna say is, let's send somebody out.
Yeah, and they've been pretty good, Anna Vivian usually, because I know when I'm reading. It's like, hey, this one's at 60,000 gallons, I'll double check it, but yeah, it's 60,000, I'm gonna get a call back.
Yeah.
I just know I am, and they'll say, hey, reread this. I want to be like, I already did, but I'll do it again, just to do my duty, because I gotta give a final read again, I'll go back out there.
I'm just wondering, do we have a way of saying, like, putting something on the door, like, hey, we've detected a really high reading, maybe you should have your irrigation person come and check the
It's
leak?
usually that next bill, when they get it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
you may
usually
cut-
that next bill is what they,
I'm just thinking being proactive rather than receiving the call, like,
well, yeah, I mean,
Well, you wouldn't know this until the bill's out, because you don't read it.
well, so when I read it, I can say, oh, this is definitely high from last month. I'll look at because I have last month's read right there when I'm looking
Right.
and I'm writing it down. But then I'm reading meters. Then I
Right.
gotta stop, knock on your door. Oh, what's the leak? Where's it? Here's what you need to do.
Right.
Right, how far?
Maybe just note it, and then we'll get it,
And I do, we have little asterisks we'll put next, and I'll know that I'll be getting reads on these. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious why they have that, they'll see a broken pipe, and you're like, oh, this is running, and,
yeah.
but if they call and they want me to come out there, Anna Vivian asked me to come out there, I have no problem going out there and showing them. A lot of times it's stack time, stuff like that.
John was here, I could mention it to him. I'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah,
There's 3 on there that are already taken care of, but
Yeah,
okay.
they had leaks.
yeah.
Okay, supervisors, Phil, do you have anything?
We're gonna borrow some money for the golf course. Have we given up the idea of redoing the bathrooms in the clubhouse completely?
No. We're going to try and incorporate all of that.
Well, we're going out to borrow money.
Oh, you're talking, I thought you were,
take a
you're talking, when we're doing the bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the bathrooms, the ones out on the course as well as the ones in the clubhouse.
I thought we talked about doing it when we do the renovation.
That's where we're going to lump that
Because
all together.
that redoing those bathrooms is a pretty big, the ones up at the clubhouse,
Yeah.
that's a structural change.
Yeah. So, and we were going to do all those when the course was closed, when we were doing the whole thing. So yes, that's part
I
of
mean, we
that
could
plan.
take a look at it, but I don't know
Yeah,
if we'd have the time.
I'm good waiting. I mean,
Yeah.
they need to be done, for sure.
They do, and yes,
We're increasing our cost to play here.
right.
You walk in our bathrooms, and it's like you're playing a dump. Because those bathrooms are horrible.
They are.
They're too small.
Yeah, and we keep pushing it down the road.
I will say this, Rose has been keeping them clean.
Oh, yeah.
They're clean.
I'm not
but-
saying that.
Right, but I know what you mean by.
They're dated.
They don't have any interior lights, they're all sunlit, all by, so if we go in the morning, sometimes I have to use, it's pitch black, I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta, use-
There is electricity at 5 now, you could put lights there.
right, you
We
can
could
have
put
lights.
lights in 5, where you open the door and
Maybe
the light
lights will make
goes
it look
on.
worse. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Spotlight on the problem.
So tell
I
me,
mean, I'm not against
tell me
talking
about the
about
idea
that,
for
but
like changing
I
the
thought we were
bathroom
doing it
structurally, like
differently.
getting them bigger, like what?
The one up by,
We keep,
One by the clubhouse.
we did the work on the patio, we're doing all this stuff.
Well, the patio is paid for by the...
I understand
Okay.
that, but
Just the
we're
improvement.
upgrading other stuff, and then you walk into our bathroom, you go, what the hell is this?
Okay, so what would you want done in the, we can't increase the bathrooms. I mean, what would you want me to do with the bathrooms on the course?
I'm not talking about the course, I'm talking the bathrooms by
Yeah.
the club.
Oh, by the
The
clubhouse.
project that we had, we looked at expanding,
and then
enclosing a longer area and.
Then the hurricane came,
Hurricane hit, and the cost went up.
like 2.5%.
And that's when we thought we better, let's wait and do this when we do the renovation, because it'll be all just one lump sum
Yeah.
as far as,
But
it's already gonna be a big
Chuck's
nut.
naming 3.5% interest rate, that's pretty cheap.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, my big thing is, if we're gonna do it, we gotta know what we want.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't wanna do them and then redo them.
No,
You know,
that's what we're
'cause-
talking about. We
'cause
had an actual really
We had
nice
a design.
design.
Yeah.
To bring it out, to take the doors that currently coming out of the golf course to be over by where the windows are, and to have the entrance to the concession to be where the ice machine is, and to make, what was it, 4 stalls for the women and 2 additional stalls and another urinal.
One additional urinal and 1 additional stall for men and a couple more for the ladies.
Yeah.
It would expand the space.
Okay, Jeff, why don't you just see, and
I
just,
have those plans.
yeah, just, if you could just give him a call.
I don't know that I've seen them, I'm not sure I've been on the board
I
long
don't know if you
enough.
were on the.
No, you weren't on the board.
Probably
this was
not.
right. Why don't you call the gentleman that did that and just say, what would the cost just to do this be?
Well, it's funny you say that. I talked, because we've been, I don't want to extend this meeting further, but we have had issues with the tent this year because of the weather. And, mildew and blah, 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 and the tent got blown over once, and then it got, one side collapsed, and blah, blah, blah. So I looked at, well, what, if we put a pole barn, put over, something over top of the tenant area that was permanent, what would that be? And I happened to text Rob one day and say, hey, have costs subsided now that the hurricane has passed in over a year? And he said, not really. But he come up with some other prefab potential options. And
Okay.
he's looking at that, and that's a possibility, but, since then, we've built that patio, and do we want to cover that patio and maybe even do away with the tent? Do we need the tent going forward per se, if we have a covered, spend the money to cover the patio instead of building another option with a tent?
Okay, but now, is Duffy's paying rent for that, and can we just arbitrarily use that?
Are you talking about the patio the tent is currently over?
No.
No,
I'm talking
the
about the
patio
new
by
patio.
Duffy's. So,
There's a couple different hoops to be jumped through for that, or we just build what we talked about, a permanent structure over the tenant area that would be more in line with what we have. I mean, I don't know.
well, Jeff, let me ask you, if you can have Tyler look at it, and if you can find out what the cost would be, and see how we would deal with Duffy's if we wanted to use that. Like, let's say that these guys are coming from Chicago. There's a lot of guys. That would take away from their
Well,
business.
currently, it's in their lease as their
Right.
area.
Yeah, the lease has a description of what you're leasing and also a sketch of the premises. We
Right.
expanded the premises,
They're not paying rent.
that we expanded that premises description
Right.
to encompass the additional paver area and walkway.
So that's technically theirs.
When does the lease expire?
5 more years?
I
I
don't
think a
know.
while, yeah.
Because when we purchased the property, it was, they had still had 7 and then 2 5s, so it's 5.5 and 2 5s. So,
Didn't we come talk about this when, I'm just throwing this out there, we can't just put a pole barn over that pad. I thought it had to be like stuccoed and Village of Estero themed.
The village is gonna have to approve, obviously, anything.
Right, didn't we talk about it? For some reason, that's in my head about that when we were
Yeah.
talking about that, so I just want to throw that out there.
I think at the time, we were talking about either doing a permanent structure or
Well-
doing the tent. And we decided with the price of the tent that just made sense
Yes.
at the time, and the functionality, and doing the paver patio, put the tent over it.
well,
We could certainly re-examine it and see how much.
Here's the thing, and I agree with Phil, but, there's a but, we can't push back this bridge project. We gotta have it,
right.
and it's gotta be in a timely basis and done quickly.
Right.
I mean, the bathroom thing would be great, the pro shop reno would be great. I mean, we just gotta be willing to pull the trigger quickly to add them into the bridge project.
Or, I just don't, I don't see that.
I don't want to
bathroom-
take that much
I don't
debt.
see that bathroom project being done in the same amount of time it's gonna take to do. I think that project's a little bit longer project, more of a project to do when we're doing.
We do the whole
renovation,
thing and everything's
because we're gonna be
closed.
closed down.
Because it's going to affect the pro shop, it's going to affect concessions, it's going to affect the bathrooms, because you're not going to have bathrooms there, so what are you going to do?
You're changing the footprint of the building.
Right. And if you don't have bathrooms there and somebody's coming to play golf, oh, you have to go to 5, or you have to go
You
to
don't have to
14?
keep talking about it, I just brought it up because I
No,
want it for a loan.
Yeah,
No,
No,
I
I-
see why you brought it up. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
so,
They make porta potties for.
I don't want to be cleaning those or having those out there.
Tipped
Okay.
over.
But I think Rose has done a great job in keeping them clean. And I mean, if we want to see if we can put some of those electric lights in the bathrooms on 5, where you open the door and the light goes on, I mean, that's something. I don't, but if we're closing them down, you guys won't be using them first thing in the morning, because who's going to, well, that's another, we can work on that. Okay. Thank you, Phil.
You get our credit?
Yes.
You ask him when you get the quote for the,
Yes. Mr. Dalton.
So first thing, we met with Chris Marrero, I don't know, what was it, early December, to talk about,
can I bail?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
I got,
Go.
is it okay?
Yeah.
I gotta meet Mr. Detterbeck.
so we met with the Duffy's Regional Manager, Chris, in early December to talk about them serving or using their liquor license on our golf course. At face, Chris was very optimistic about taking this over and saying that their liquor license had the portability for them to serve in other jurisdictions and locations. Even went so far as to say that they would be eager to do it and look to take over on January 1st of this year. Since then, we haven't heard back from Chris. So my thought is, I think maybe we escalate it up to whomever that person is. And I wanted to just share a couple of thoughts that I had on just Duffy's. Like, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of reception and leadership with gifting them this patio. So we talk about the tent, like, if Duffy's does not want to do something with the patio, my thought is maybe we, in some way, take back over the patio or control of the patio. And I'm not sure if any of you have been to the Backyard Social up on Ben Hill Griffin, but it operates in a premise where the landlord or the overseeing body is like, serves alcohol, and then they bring in food trucks to serve the food. And I see, like, maybe that's a possibility for us, is if we take over that porch area and we can serve, mixed drinks and so forth, in accordance with amending our lease, we could become like a golf course or sports bar that is outdoor. And, the furniture that they put out there, the lack of them putting lights out there, like them really taking off and running with it, I think maybe at some point, if this gets escalated and their leadership doesn't want to push that back patio agenda, then we take control of it ourselves. That's the first point. The second one, I don't know whether Jeff mentioned it or not. He was meeting with a contractor to get a voice over IP phone system installed.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to go through that real quick, like.
Yeah, we are doing that, and that will allow us to link directly with John and transfer, and he can transfer to us. Some of the issue is the fact that he will get phone calls for tea times down at maintenance, and they're not able to transfer, and people get all upset about it. So now we will all be linked together in the same phone system, and we need new phones anyway. We're getting a little bit dated with our phone system, so yes, we updated that, and I met with them, and we're gonna have that happen in the next couple months.
And then the last and final thing is, John isn't here, but he mentioned, I guess, he got a call, I guess the insurance, the health insurance that they have, there were some accounts payable issues there again. So I just want to raise that up. If, you know, if we're unable to pay bills and it's affecting our employees, it's a problem, you know? So whoever needs to fix it, you know, make sure that they're aware. If it continues to be a problem, it's an area that I'll jump in and offer whatever help I can, but.
Because insurances have to be paid, whether it's the building, the property, the health is a priority. Because, you know, these insurance companies, you lapse and they're done with you.
Vendor's aware of it,
Okay.
brought to my attention.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay. Chris?
I actually really don't have much because most of the emails I've been getting, we discussed.
Okay.
But I will say to Phil's point about, you know, if we want to go down the road, but we're charging people $200 to play here and they can't get a glass of water. I hear that every day from my daughter. That's
Are we
where
back
she's
to
working
cups again?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you say that the garbage on the golf course had decreased?
Oh, I think it looks
exponentially?
fantastic. I'm just saying, you know, I could see,
I see both sides of it.
yeah, I mean, I totally see it, and as a resident, I'm kind of happy that, you know, it's certainly a lot cleaner around here, but
That's, and then we're saving the environment and all the fine things we're doing. I mean, people can bring a cup, in my opinion, but I hear you, I get the same complaints.
yeah, I'm just,
How do we go from bathroom to cups?
I'm just saying, you made the comment, we're charging people all this money and they can't, you know, the bathroom's like crap. Well, first thing I'd be like is, damn, I can't even get a drink of water.
I remember as a kid, my dad is a very practical, like, physician, and when we went on road trips, he implored on us, no input, no output, so maybe there is a link, you know, if you don't drink, then you